And the athletes are already coming out. Let's hear them welcome to the packed out crowd here in Salt Lake City.
Shooting on target number 2, representing the Russian Federation. Please welcome Natalia Avdieva, two-time world champion Albina Loginova, and Darima Tsirenodorova.
Darima. Back up.
Shooting on target number 1 for the bronze medal, the United States of America. Christy Keller, Lexi Keller, Jamie Van Natten. The line judge for this match will be Roy Cortez. 24 arrows from each team will decide the winner.
Please prepare. USA, you shoot first. Russia, you shoot second. Have fun. Range clear. Begin the match.
Well, Roy Cortez there, our line judge from Colombia, announcing that the range is safe, and it's the USA, the world number 4 team, who will shoot first here.
Come on, Jamie.
Compound women's team bronze match about to get underway. Well, just drifting down and to the right, a 7 to start for the USA. Ranked 4th in the world, came through the ranking rounds, 4th in the seedings here in Salt Lake City.
Got a girl 10, 10, 11, nice shot. Go, Lex.
Well, that's on the line there between 9 and 10. The athletes here will compete over 4 ends, 6 arrows per team per end, as Russia start their bid for the bronze medal.
Oh, I'm not sure. She might have missed that. You could see that. You could see she had a little bit of a hiccup and a jerk there on the shot. I am not sure where that arrow landed. Let me pick up my binoculars and see. Yes, it is low off the target.
Well, you don't see that very often. Only 2 scoring arrows out of the first 3. It's an accumulative score here, so basically you're trying to get a higher score over the 6 arrows than your opponent.
There you go, 9 and 3.
Дарима, покажи мне быстрый выстрел, пожалуйста. Быстрый жесткий выстрел. Держи тонус от левой руки к правой. Спину жестче. Мишень надавливай подушкой.
Good arrow, Christy. 8 and 3, just out. That wind's very strong. Left side of that 10 ring, Lex. You got the count, Jamie. Nice. 9 and 11. All right, good. Good start, good start. It's a tough wind.
But you can hear the American coach saying it's a tough wind.
Жесткий выстрел, Наташа. 10 на 12.
Good arrow though, settle the nerves for the Russians. Possible total score of 60 here, and a 52. Well, in normal circumstances, you'd say that was beatable. Russia dropping an arrow in the first half. And this is an impossible task in the first end.
And do you think that wind?
30 секунд тайминг.
You know what I mean? It's curling into that. It's funnel.
10 габарит на 10 часов.
The spread is wide here, Vic, isn't it?
It is. This is not what you would normally expect from these two teams. These are very strong teams here, and they both left a lot of points on the table this first round between the nerves and the wind.
Yeah, the wind. Look, we went down onto the range earlier on, and down on the shooting line, it's a headwind. And then when you get about halfway down the range, of this 50-meter range, it starts to pull across from the left to the right as the archers look down the field of play.
Все должно получаться, как в темпе вальса. Раз, два, три, раз, два, три.
And this is the replay of the miss, Vic.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of a jerk. It just wasn't as smooth as the other shots. And then I think the 6 may have been still weighing on her mind after that initial miss.
Вот, как я тебе говорил, подушка, упор, уперлась сюда. И этот тонус держать до самого конца. Момент выстрела желтый.
You shoot second.
Еще не вечер. Комушки, собрались. Let's go.
A good start from the USA, but the trailing team in archery always shoot first
Дарима,
in the
покажи
next
мне
end. So
мастер-класс.
Russia will step up. It's Natalia Avdieva, Albina Loganova, and Darima Strendotopova. Trailing by 8. It's not an impossible task with this accumulative score, but the Russians certainly need to have a better end right here, right now in Salt Lake City.
Отличный выстрел.
Another 10. That's a good start for what they were looking for there.
Вслед за Натальей туда же, как ты умеешь.
Sometimes the difference between a 10 and a bad shot is not much difference technically
Левую
wise.
не забываем, мишень ее.
There she
Отлично,
follows
умничка.
up
Вот
back
так
with
и
another
надо.
10.
Right on the line, that one, but scored as a 10. Generous marking in archery. If you hit the line, you get the higher score.
That's right.
Отлично.
Another good shot.
So 29 out of a possible 30 at the halfway stage for the Russians. Let's see how Jamie Van Natta and the Americans can respond in the second end of this bronze medal match.
Nice. 9 and 7. Just out. Just out. Clear. Come on, Christy. Nine and 11.
No.
All right. Oh, Lex. Nice.
Jamie had commented to me before this thing that they don't feel the wind on them back at the shooting line as much as what it's hitting on the target, so it makes it harder for them to judge the wind sometimes.
Тяги постоянно.
Well, the door was opened by the Americans, trailing the Russians by 2 halfway through the second end, but an 8 drifting off for the Russians here. 2
Держим
more
левую.
arrows for
Мощный
them.
выстрел, Дарима. Тяга. Тяга.
Another 8.
Момент выстрела, мишень. Видно в желтом
Watch your
прицеле.
transitions, all right? You
Отлично.
We talk about groupings in archery, and whilst that was a 10 at the end there, that's a wide spread of arrows for the Russians, making it difficult for them to make an adjustment. USA have a chance here to open the lead further.
Nice. 9 at 3. Same hole.
9.
All right. Closing in on it. Come on, Christy. Nice. Same spot. 9 at 3.
9.
Took the number 8 out.
So a 10 will maintain
You know the number 9?
the lead
Took it
for
out.
the USA that they took out of the first end.
Dude. Nice shot, Lex. Thank you, Paige Spears.
It's all about spread of arrows and trying to keep them tight. If they can keep them all tight in the same area, it doesn't really matter on the target where it is, because you can make one standard adjustment across the whole team. And here we have a comparison of both teams, Vic.
Okay, Russia has a lot of good arrows close to the middle with a couple outliers. The USA team, they're a little bit low on the grouping, minus a couple arrows, but they're all close, fairly close to the middle. They've commented to me it's hard sometimes to get the exact difference between each of them, their speed of their bows, the arrows, but the weight of the arrows. They get different amounts of wind drift, but they communicate to try to help each other know where to aim.
And that's key, isn't it? That communication between the teams. They can look at things. But we talked earlier about the swirliness of the wind, the eddies that are being created at the end of the range.
Yes, this is very challenging. Where the archers are standing, they don't feel as much wind back there because it's shaded from the stands. But halfway down range, the field opens up and they get a pretty hard breeze across the field. So they're trying to take an average of what they see, what they feel, what the flags are doing. This is a complicated wind.
Bit of luck then.
A lot of experience, a little bit of luck.
Range clear.
Well, it's hot and dry, 28 degrees Celsius, 82 degrees Fahrenheit
Wait.
here.
No.
But the heat doesn't really play that big a factor. It's the wind in Salt Lake that's causing the problems.
Do you have arrows, Chris? No, do you have arrows now?
You can shoot this arrow. No,
You're going to have to use them.
Альбин, передайте Наташе.
please. The archer of Russian have arrows. Only send 3 arrows. You can shoot with these arrows. No.
We have no arrows either, Roy.
Vic,
I didn't.
yeah, we saw them throwing the arrows down. We're not quite sure what went on there, but there's certainly a delay on the shooting line.
You want to shoot with this?
Yes, if you bring us other...
Has she decided perhaps to change? Maybe she's decided to change the arrows. Sometimes they feel like there's a dodgy arrow, but I think maybe there's some issue with the timing system. Maybe let's have a listen.
We'll be shooting first as we enter the second half of this bronze.
Where's arrows? No arrows. No arrows.
The archer only have 1 arrow to shoot.
Well, I think that's pretty clear. Roy Cortez saying the archer only has 1 arrow to shoot.
Yeah, I guess they must be waiting for some arrows to come back from the target.
Bit of confusion here in Salt Lake City for the compound women's team bronze medal match. Agents sent to the target to collect the arrows, and it appears that at least one of the teams is missing some arrows.
Yeah, apparently a couple of them didn't come back with the arrow runners. Usually they're pretty smooth and efficient with that, but sometimes they come up an arrow short and got to make sure they have what they need to shoot. And here you see our arrow runners.
There you go. They just wanted to get on camera, I reckon, Vic.
Chance to be famous.
Yeah, 15 seconds of fame in the heat here in Salt Lake City. It was in fact the USA that were without arrows. Well, in fact, both teams, it looks like,
Okay, Russia.
hadn't recovered
Ready?
all of their arrows.
USA. Are you ready?
Well, a little bit of
You
light
shoot first.
relief here
You
in the
shoot
bronze
second.
medal match, but it'll be
Range clear.
Russia to shoot first in the third end. They're trailing by 8 at the halfway stage.
Russian Federation will be shooting first on target number 2.
So here we go. We're at the halfway stage of the compound women's team bronze medal match. Russia trailing by 8 will shoot first in the third
Мощно,
end.
Наташа. Левую держим. 9 на 3. Очень близко к 10. Дарима туда же.
See the countdown clock ticking away, 120 seconds for the 6 arrows for each team.
Спину держи. Молодец. 8 на 3. До конца получил. Отжечь, короче, прямо нижней частью. Додавливание. Тебе будет легче стоять, потому что это прям ровно. Свою ошибочку знаешь, да?
Well, there you go. You can see that windsock blowing. That's the left of the target. You just see the targets on the right-hand side, cutting across left to right with a little bit of a headwind as the Americans begin their third end.
9 at 3.
Again, just drifting across the right like the Russian first arrow, and that's that crosswind left to right, perhaps playing a part.
I think so. That arrow was straight to the right, which would give me a good indication that was probably wind drift hitting her.
There you go.
Christie's is also to the right, so.
All right, when those arrows come back, we just ram Jamie's arrow.
Alexi Keller to shoot the third arrow in the third end for USA.
Nice, Lex. 9 at 7.
A bit of adjustment there, but dropping low as well. But you can feel, Vic, the wind changing and swirling from our position.
Yeah, I've noticed the wind's really picked up here in the last minute, and it changes frequently, making it difficult for these archers.
Yeah, inconsistent wind, a nightmare for the archers, and in a team event where communication between them is so important, it sometimes negates that communication. Just as the second Russian archer released, the wind just died off completely.
Yeah, sometimes even timing is difficult in these because the wind pushes you around this much. You do not have much time for error. In a qualification round, you might set down and start over again, but here you're forced to shoot it whether it's good or not.
Good arrows there from Russia in the end. Strong 53 out of 60 in these conditions, it would appear.
There's a good break. Nice, girl.
The consistency, the key here, and the USA.
How's that feel?
Well, Jamie Van Natter put that one right down the middle.
Nice.
Oh, another one. Really, really good stuff. They're shooting down a 50-meter range. The width of the target, the diameter of the target is 80 centimeters. And, well, that X is a little bit smaller than the state fruit here in Utah, the cherry, and they've hit it twice in a row.
That's some excellent shooting. Jamie Bonetta and Christy Collins are two of the more experienced archers that we've had on the U.S. team over the years. This is the first time, however, that this American team has actually shot together. They are all very experienced archers. They've all shot with different combinations of the team, but this is the first time that 3 of them have competed together.
Well, it's an interesting match, this one, as you say, Vic, but the Russians threw their arrows down at the beginning, and we didn't quite catch it right at the beginning, but it was a curious start to the end.
Yeah, she did. She tossed them down. I guess she didn't like the one she had. Maybe waiting for her favorite arrows to come back, I guess.
Well, there you go. Magic of TV. We saw that in a replay, just in case you missed it like us. But here, the score has been confirmed. That went to a measure. And I think it's Jose Del Toro who is the target judge, the Argentinian, who's confirmed the score. 11-point lead for the USA. Vic, possible for the Russians to get back into this?
With this wind, it's always possible. This wind creates a lot of uncertainty, and it's easy for archers to make a small mistake that results in a big mistake on the target. It is, however, a big point deficit to overcome, and the American team has to be happy about this point spread at this point in time.
And they've just been super consistent, haven't they? The American
Давай,
team.
Наташа, отличненько.
Russia to shoot first, final end of the compound women's team bronze medal match.
Левой до Рима доработаем. Помогаем левой себе. Мощный выстрел. Отлично, 8/6.
Pointed out, Vic, that headwind's just starting to blow the archers around, and as you watch the third arrow go out, just look at how stable this archer is.
Тяга.
This is a very experienced and incredibly good archer. She's doing a good job of staying steady in this tough wind. It's not easy to shoot in.
In that spot, Jimmy.
She used a lot of time there, Vic.
USA!
Nine.
USA!
Back, Christy, back. Drop it.
The U.S. team, she told me that their strategy was Jamie is a little bit slower, so she was shooting first. Lexi is a really fast shooter, so they put her last, and Christy is just solid anywhere you put her in the team round.
Nice action.
Well, time ticking away there, but Christy Collin stepped up to the line too early then, had to come back behind the line and re-pull her arrow. So time really against the USA here.
Nice whack.
And interesting to see Lexi Keller really shoot that third arrow pretty sharpish.
That's why they put her in the third position, because they knew if they got pinched in a time slot, she could make it happen.
So the arrow's starting to play for the Americans. Smiles and giggles as the Russians shoot their final 3 arrows.
Мощно.
Oh, and that one's drifted way to the right and low. And the chances here for the Russians all but evaporating in the brutal heat here in Salt Lake City.
Рима, прицел до конца, желтая. Мощный выстрел. Вот так заканчиваем, чемпионы. Молодец. 20 секунд, Альбина. Мощный выстрел, как на тренировке. Отлично.
Albina logging over there, shooting a 9, following up a 10.
Молодец.
But, well, this could be done in 1 arrow. Well, certainly the score's tied if Jamie Van Natter can score a 10.
Nice shot. 9
A
and
9, so, well, I think it was over before we saw Jamie Van Natter there, Vic.
Yeah, I think she just needs to get something on the scoring paper at this point, and they'll have the match completed.
Go, girl, go. Get her turn. Nice.
And that is it. The match is now over. Of course, Lexi Keller will shoot the final arrow with that time ticking away. She pulls off a 10 to finish things off, and the USA snatched the bronze fairly comfortably here against Russia. They are now confirmed the winners. Consistency the key for the USA. They were consistent throughout, but ultimately it was the dropped second arrow in the first end that paid its price for the Russians.